All right, so our friends at the tip poll, Ragmeyer and company, have just shown 64% of all Americans say Biden is responsible for inflation, and most interesting, 53% of Democrats say he's responsible for it. Not the war in Ukraine, not Vladimir Putin, Mr. Biden. All right, let's talk about the politics of all this and the war against energy, business, and capitalism. We have, oh my gosh, unbelievable favorites. Hogan Gidley, former White House Deputy Press Secretary, and it gets even better, Pam Bondi, former Florida Attorney General and America First Policy Institute Law and Justice Co-Chair. Thank you, kids, for coming on. It's terrific to see you. Hogan, let me begin with you. I'm not, let's not do the economic analysis per se. I'm trying to get at the politics of this.
Sure.
It's like, who's Biden? I mean, John Thune sort of raised this. Who does he think he's kidding? Or Rick Perry raised it. Who does he think he's kidding? You got this, gas tax. It's just a gimmick. He still is running a war against fossil fuels. But you know what, Hoagie? Even bigger. He's running a regulatory and tax war against businesses. And I would take it a step further. He's basically running a war against all capitalism. These are socialist or certainly quasi-socialist policies. The question to you politically, is it going to work?
It's not. He is trying to tell everyone in this country the things that are happening are just happening to him. They're happening because of him. Remember, he bragged on day one he was going to do everything opposite from the previous administration. So with energy, for example, he was going to add regulations. You can't drill. You can't have leases. All the things he talked about, not just there with inflation. Remember, early on, it wasn't happening at all. Then it was happening and it was transitory. Then it was happening and it was good for you. Then he blamed COVID. He blamed supply chains. He blamed Vladimir Putin. And now we're back to the energy companies as the big bad monster. The fact is, you can fix all of this with good policies and a good president. And sadly, right now, we've got neither.
Pam Bondi, it's interesting to me. First of all, this TIPS poll is interesting because it shows that even Democrats blame him for inflation. Right. Today, his newly appointed Fed chair, Jay Powell, in answer to a question from one of the senators, Bill Hagerty, he said, no, wait a second, the inflation started well before the war. So his own Fed guy just appointed Jay Powell. We know Jay Powell, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't agree either. And I happen to, from this, the public doesn't agree. So it's like, Pam, politically, you're coming into a midterm election. Who's Biden think he's kidding?
He's not kidding anyone anymore, Larry. And as Hogan said, people are seeing it. And, you have to take the economics, of course, and the capitalist approach. And he's going after our businesses. He's going after our energy independence. From day one, he started doing that. And now when you have people in California and their gas prices are about to go to double digits, it's unheard of. And they know what happened in the previous administration with you, with the Economic Council, and with President Trump in office, and how good they had it. But you also have to look at the crime rate, in California, what's happening with crime, everything that they're undoing that your administration, that President Trump's administration did and fixed and made our country a great place to be. People are seeing it, and it's multifaceted. They're hitting Americans on every single front, going after us. And I really think now that they're hitting everyone in the pocketbooks with these gas prices, and again, like Hogan said, they're not taking responsibility for their actions. Right. They're pushing it off, and people can see through that, and they're going to sure as heck see through it in the midterms.
Hoagie, to Pam's point, high crime is a tax hike. High crime keeps people off the streets. High crime closes businesses. High crime stops new businesses from opening. I mean, the relationship between high crime and low business, or high crime and a low economy, there is a correlation there for sure.
What'd you expect? When we had more than $2 billion worth of damage in the summer of love, the BLM riots, don't forget it was Kamala Harris who was pushing to raise money not to support the business people who lost their livelihoods, but to those who caused all the death and destruction across this country. The American people see through this. It was the left who've been pushing for defund the police, which obviously hurts businesses. And I remember during the campaign, we said, no, Joe Biden wants to defund the police. They said, no, he said redirect. And I said, right, if you don't think redirect is the same thing as defund, then let me redirect your paycheck into my bank account. The American people understand what crime crime does to a community, what it does to their families, and the left has been on the wrong side of all of these issues. And so moving into 2022, we know they've got nothing to run on, no successes, so they're going back to the old chestnuts of guns, of abortion, of green energy. It's not going to work. The American people feel the brunt of these bad policies, and they want to change, and thankfully there are a lot of candidates out there who can offer that to them.
You know, Pam Bondi, the cavalry's coming. I mean, I know I keep saying it. I actually believe it. I mean, everything Biden does, including today's press conference with this stupid gas tax gimmick, it's just astonishing. In other words, the economics are terrible. Okay, I get that. But Pam, I'll give you the last word, last 30 seconds. The politics are terrible. He just keeps making mistake after mistake. People see right. I mean, you look at this poll. This Tips is a very accurate pollster. 53% of Democrats blame Joe Biden for inflation. Pam Biden, I give you the last word.
Larry, it's over and over and over, and it's going to continue, and people are going to see it. And not only the Democrats, but in these primaries that really matter. Look at Kelly Tshibaka running against Lisa Murkowski. She's doing a great job in Alaska. Look at Harriet Hageman running against Liz Cheney. Watch Wyoming. Watch what's going to happen. We're going to take back our country with real Americans, real Republicans, real conservatives in the midterms.
By the way, Pam, I love you, but it was Hogan Gidley who did the economic policy making in our administration. I just want to make
Hogan was awesome.
The policy wonk that I am.
You know,
absolutely.
Pam, I never disagree with you, but I got to tell you, the guy behind the scenes is right there on the screen. Anyway, Hogan Gidley and Pam Bondi, two of the best of the best. Thank you, kids. Appreciate it very much.